Hello, welcome to the 5th week of our cook along, and this week's a special one. We've got a special Wagyu main course. I really like this menu. The starter that we're doing is a dish that's I've been cooking for a long time and kind of came about by accident really. It's a dish that a lot of customers request and it's one that people often talk about. So it's our burnt onion. I'm just going to talk you through the ingredients. So the inspiration for this was kind of like a cheese board or maybe a cheese sandwich if you like. So we've got onions that have been, these have actually been smoked, we usually roast them. And then I make a stock out of the burnt skins. The stock tastes disgusting, it's really, really bitter and horrible. So I do loads of things to it. We make a gastrique, which is a caramel that has vinegar in it and it has yeast in it and all sorts of things. And we make this lovely sweet and sour sort of sauce with the onion sort of sauce. So really, really simple one this to plate actually. All we're going to do is just, I've given you all different amounts of onion. I've tried to give you the same weight. So some people will have 1 large onion, some people have 2 small onions, some people will have 3 onions, in which case there's 2 of you with 3 onions. Obviously you cut them and share them. So we are going to cut them open. So I'm just going to cut this into 4. And then we generally reheat them in the oven, but I'm just going to pop it in the microwave. While I think on, don't forget to get your bread warmed up. Once they be in the oven at about 150, give it about half an hour, so you've got nice warm bread. Right, so first things first, I'm just going to microwave this, just so it's done. Probably going to take about a minute. And I'll pop the sauce in there as well at the same time to heat it. So the onions have been warmed up, the sauce has been warmed up with them. It's just a matter of putting it together now, so we'll just pop the onion on the plate. Now, I do like salt, so I'm going to add a little bit of salt to this. I know not everyone likes salt as much as I do. The sauce is quite salty, so I'll leave that up to you. And then just going to pop some Stilton on. And then be really, really generous with this sauce. This sauce is the star of this dish. Get it all in there so it dresses the onions nicely. And we just got some croutons here. I'll pop on. It's got some pickled shallot as well. And then we just finish it with this allium oil. There we go, so that's our burnt onion. So on to the main course. It's quite complicated, this one. Probably the most complex dish we've done on these cook-alongs. If I can give you a bit of advice, personally, if you want to make it less stressful, what I would do is I would get all the garnish ready. So I'd warm the risotto, I'd warm the sauce, I'd warm the puree. You could even pre-saute the mushrooms. And then I'd pop them on a tray in an oven, a low oven, at about 60 degrees just to keep warm. Obviously, don't put it any hotter than that because it's plastic, etc. But these are, particularly these ones, they're designed to take heat. And then basically it's just a matter of, you could even do your broccoli actually, but it's a matter of basically cooking the steak then. So I'm not going to do it like that though, I'm going to do it in real time. So first of all, I'm going to get the steak on. So this is Highland Wagyu. So Wagyu means Japanese beef basically. This is obviously not Japanese because it's from the Highlands. but it is Wagyu cattle. So basically, most of the Wagyu that you get over here is a crossbreed. So it's they'll get a Wagyu and they'll cross it with a British breed, Angus or something, because then they can kind of rotate the Japanese cow to get more money out of it. So to make one with another one, pure breed, is more expensive, but it produces better results. So this is different to Japanese Wagyu, how it's raised in Japan, because theirs is grain-fed, ours is grass-fed. So it's kind of got a mixed grass and grain-fed. It's kind of got a mixture of the two really. So it's got quite a meaty flavour, but it's also going to be lovely and juicy. So I've just got a pan on there just with a tiny little bit of oil. I'm just going to pop this in there. Obviously you're going to have to cook this steak yourself in real time. Wagyu should be cooked medium rare. You can't really eat it rare. If you had it rare, it wouldn't be as juicy, it wouldn't be as pleasant. You need to get the fat rendered. A good tip I'll give you is leave the steak out of the fridge for about an hour. We call it tempering before you cook it. That way it's just going to warm up in the centre. And what we're looking for here is we want an internal temperature on this of about 55 degrees. So if you've got a digital thermometer, you can measure it. You can even get these ones metered out. You stick in there, keep in there. But it's just a matter of the old thing of basically that's rare. That's kind of rare to medium rare. That's kind of medium. That's sort of medium to well, and that's knackered basically. So that's what we're looking for. So I'm just going to give it about two minutes aside, and then I'll just check it. So I'll come back to you in a minute. Okay, so it's taken, mine's actually quite a thick cook, so it's taken a bit longer. Probably had about 3.5 minutes aside. It's basically, I just want you to see, that's how you tell it's done. Okay, so at the minute it's quite well cooked there on the ends, just very slightly undercooked in the centre. But we're going to rest it for 5 minutes, and that'll mean all the heat will redistribute and it'll be perfectly cooked then. So I'm just going to set it to one side to rest for 5 minutes, and I'll get everything else ready at the same time. So as the meat's resting, I'm going to get everything else ready. So first of all, we've made some risotto, and ordinarily I would never make risotto and reheat it, but we use a special aged rice. That means that basically it's a particular type of carnaroli rice that's aged, and it retains its texture much better. This is rice. Obviously it's a high risk food. When you do reheat this, make sure it is piping hot. If it's a little bit thick, you might need to add a little bit of water. So we're going to microwave this basically. So I'll do it in bursts. I'll give it about 45 seconds, then stir it, and then kind of test it again. So I'm just going to microwave it. So my steak's resting. One thing I forgot to say is when you fry the steak, don't do it in olive oil, do it in a neutral flavoured oil, veg oil, etc. And only a tiny bit. Obviously a lot of fat will come out of the actual steak, so you don't want to dilute that with this kind of flavour of an oil. This has all been reheated. So the risotto, I forgot to say, this is a red wine and beetroot risotto, broccoli puree and our jus that we made. I'm just going to cook the broccoli. The way we do this is water in a pan, pinch of salt. You can put a little bit of sugar in there if you want, but I'm not going to for this. And then hardly any water. And we're going to bring it to a fierce simmer with the lid on. And then as soon as it starts steaming, we'll turn it down, and it'll take 2 to 3 minutes to cook. And that will literally be 2 to 3 minutes. So set a timer, check it after 2, just a little bit of a knife in the stem. If it's still quite tough, give it another minute. We're going to actually cook the mushrooms now. So we've got these mitake mushrooms, hen of the woods, which are amazing. Just have such an incredible meaty flavour to them. Amazing smell to them and everything. They're just such an incredible ingredient. And we're just going to saute these. So I'm just going to clean my pan. It's got a lot of residue in there. This is now simmering. So I'll turn it down, set a timer. 2 minutes, just going to wipe this out. So just getting a pan on the heat, again with some vegetable oil, etc. You could use peanut oil or whatever. Just don't use a high grade extra virgin rapeseed or olive oil. So get it nice and hot. And these go lovely and brown and golden, and when they do, they really do take on the flavour of like roast chicken skin, which is amazing. So get your pan hot. If you put them in a cool pan, they're just going to sweat, and we want that real good fry on them. So plenty of heat in the pan. Don't move them about too much, so you want to get a lot of colour developed on them. Just going to season it with salt, just salt. You'll notice, by the way, that I didn't season the Wagyu. I'm going to do that when I cut it. Just going to check on this properly. Now, broccoli is all different thicknesses. You can see this one's quite thick, this one's thin. The thick one's not quite done, so I'm just going to give it another 30 seconds to a minute. So you see the lovely golden colour again on that there. Try to avoid just adding loads of oil to it because they do absorb it. So you need enough oil to cook them, but not so much that they're going to get greasy. And when we cook them, we'll drain them off. Right, so happy with those now. Going to drain them off. Put that to one side. Right, so just come back to me 1 minute and I'm going to plate the dish. So to plate it, a little bit of the risotto. Don't put too much of this on, it's quite rich. Steak. Just put some salt on it. I'm going to salt it when I've cut it again as well. This is steak's called a Denver cut, which is quite an unusual cut if you research it. So, just going to get a few little flecks of salt and just pop them between the cuts. Mine's steak's a bit misshapen, but I'm just going to plate it now. Just pop it on there. Pop our broccoli there. Just going to put a little blob of the broccoli puree on. You can do drag quenelles or whatever, but I'm just going to keep it simple. The amazing mushrooms. And this beautiful jus that has been cooked down with red wine and thyme and garlic and veal stock and old school, proper old school jus. There we go, so that's our Wagyu. Wagyu, it's got a red wine beetroot risotto, a sprouting broccoli, broccoli puree, mitake mushrooms, and a classic veal jus. On to dessert. So we've got a raspberry and elderflower jelly, some creme patissiere, some raspberry meringue, some fresh raspberries. I've put a lot of setting agent in this because people have been struggling with turning desserts out. So it's going to be a little bit difficult to get out. I'm putting it in a bowl. You can plate it on a plate, but some of the jelly will run out as we eat it. Doesn't really matter in a bowl, obviously. So I'm just going to put this in water for about 5-6 seconds. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you'll see it kind of slightly wobbling on the sides. That's when we want to try and turn it out. Might take a little bit of encouragement. That's it. I'm just going to center it. That's it. Right, so onto our creme pat. I'm just going to take the end off to about there. And I'm just going to pipe some of this. I absolutely adore creme pat. It's like one of my favourite things in the world. Pop some raspberries on. A little bit of meringue. There we go. So that's our raspberry and elderflower jelly, creme pat, fresh raspberries, and raspberry meringue. I put some flowers in for you, just because people like to use them. Obviously you can use them on any of the courses, but you can pop it on there if you like. Thank you for watching this video. Thank you for the amazing response from everyone. We'd really appreciate it if you'd share your meals online. On Facebook, it's Michael Price or Gourmet Dining Room. On Instagram, it's The Kitchen and Cook. Tag us along, and we can't wait to see how your plates look.